Consider supporting DanDanTheFireman on Patreon for just $1 a month. More information and link below.
What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. I am at Indian Motorcycle Tucson, and we are going to be doing some demo rides. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on. Sorry, I had to sync up all my stuff. This is the Indian Scout 60. I'm actually trying it out. I've never rode the 60 before, so let's make sure I'm in neutral. So there we go. There we go. See, look, we got people helping me out. It's a little bit different than my Sportster. Now this is a 61C cubic inch V-twin, 78 horsepower, and this is a 5-speed compared to the Indian Scout regular one, which is 6-speed. Now, from what I understand, the first 4 gears is the same as the Indian Scout, and then the 5th gear on this one is a lot like the 6th gear on the Indian Scout itself. So you're still getting those higher RPMs and really nice ride, but it's 73 or 78 horsepower versus like 100 something on the Indian Scout. And this has a shield on it. And how you doing over here? So we're gonna actually try this out. It's actually very comfortable. This fits me really good with these bars. I like these like beach cruiser type bars. Never rode a bike with a windshield, so it's gonna be a little bit different. And we're gonna be riding staggered, and we're gonna be doing it safe. We had a little meeting and we had it all going. Now, I am not used to forward controls, but these forward controls fit really good. I actually like these forward controls, and I can actually maneuver with the boots. That was something I was a little bit worried about, that I wouldn't be able to, you know, adjust and move myself with the boots, but it feels great, and it is a smooth bike. I noticed that my legs are a little bit touching on the tank, because this tank is a little bit wider, so that's a little bit different. And from what I understand, that this seat, this is probably why that my legs are touching a little bit more on the tank, is that this seat is an adjustable. This is like one of those options where it's a short rider seat, where it's actually pushing me up further to where I'm able to actually reach the pedals, or the pedals. I'm able to reach the pegs a little bit easier. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just kind of doing a test ride, and this is my first time on the Indian Scout 60, so bear with me when I'm messing up a lot of stuff when it comes to, you know, specs and all that stuff, because I only really know my Harley Sportster, and I really want to try out these Scouts, because the last time I rode a Scout was back in 2015, and I did the Indian Scout review, kind of the same thing, out here at Indian Motorcycle Tucson, and it was a demo event. It was a lot of fun, and the Indian Scout right there, one second, let me sync this up. Right there in front of me is the green one, and I'll be riding that next. So I'll be riding the Indian Scout after this, and then the Indian Scout bobber to top it off, because I'm really excited to do it. But we're being all safe here. We got people right here. We got the Dark Horse right here. We got the Springfield right here. All right, here we go. I gotta get used to this. I keep putting my feet down like they're mid controls, but they're forward controls. Now, from what I understand, is that you can actually move the control scheme. Now, when I was at Arizona Bike Week, I saw an Indian Scout with some really badass custom stuff on it, and they had like basic rear / mid controls. So that's really awesome. Now let's go actually talk about the bike first. You know, I'm talking about all these accessories on the bike. There's some really cool accessories on the bike, like the windshield right here, which I can kind of feel the wind buffering going over my head. But I really like the feel and look of this, because I got my speedometer right here, says I'm in 3rd gear, which is nice. I like the fact that it's actually telling me what gear I'm in, because sometimes on my Harley, I'm just like, I don't know which one I'm in. So I'm in 4th gear right now, and it shows the RPM. So there's a tachometer on here. It's a digital tach, and I'm trying to focus on the road, but I'm gonna be go ahead and pointing the camera down this way. So I'm at almost 3,000 RPMs in 4th gear, going about 45. Now, it's really awesome to be able to see that. Now, we're all gonna be safe. It looks like we're gonna be turning right, but we're gonna wait for this bus. And that's the cool thing about riding here at Indian Motorcycle Tucson on a demo event. If you're nervous about a group ride, they have instructors. The person in lead is not just the person in lead. That's an instructor. That is an MSF course instructor. They have their own company here, so that you have to hire out, I believe from, oh, there's my turn signal on the left. See, I'll go ahead and talk about that, but we're kind of jumping into how to, you know, do your first demo ride too, I guess. And so the instructor is in the front, and there's an instructor in the rear kind of holding people up. to make sure people are, are riding safe and all that stuff. But what you really need to have in order to do a demo event like this is a helmet, long pants, closed-toed shoes, and a few other things. I will have something popping up here because I took a picture of the requirements for the demo event. So it's really cool. I like it, and it makes it super easy sign up and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about the bike itself. I did talk about a lot of the, during my walk-arounds, what's on the bike and everything, but I want to kind of show you from this point of view what you're going to be seeing. So on the right side, you have a kill switch right here. Kill switch, obviously, and the start button, start the engine button. And then over here you have your brights, turn signal, and horn. That's it. Super simple, nothing crazy. I'm so used to having on my right side my right blinker from the Harley and my left blinker on this side, but I mean, it's all right here, so you really don't have to mess with anything on your throttle hand unless you're about to start and stop this bike. You could do everything right here. I like how simple and clean this speedometer is. Like I mentioned, you get the tachometer or digital tach, which shows the RPMs, and then you have your gear selection. So right now I'm in neutral, and it pops up here, and it shows right there speedometer portion, and then time underneath. And I'm sure there's a trip meter. I'm sure there's a trip everything if I mess around with it. I don't want to mess around with it right now. But right now, this does, oh, look, it even says the accessory stuff. This has the reduced reach. The optimal reach for riders 5'6" and under. Positions rider approximately 2 inches forward than stock, and that's the seat. So I'm 5'6", and this fits great. It really does. Now, it has a 19-inch quick-release windshield. It has a reduced reach billet shift rod. Oh, reduced reach. This is like fitting me pretty good. Reduced reach seat. That's what I'm talking about. And then it has the reduced reach handlebars. No wonder this thing fits me perfectly, because I am 5'6", and it fits me good. I was actually worried about the reach for my feet. I was worried about the reach for my arms, but not no more. And it is such a smooth takeoff. And I put my foot down on the right side like it was a mid-control. But it is nice. And we're about to head on to the interstate, so all this stuff was in town, and I'm just like talking and all that stuff, but we're about to hit the interstate, so I will be getting up to 5th gear, because this is only a 5th gear bike. All the other Indian Scouts have 6 gears. The Indian Scout and then the Indian Scout bobber. There you go. I think he just wanted it to feel the speed. So I'm gonna go ahead and, there you go, turn signal right. You got the turn signal. This guy's taking up his own lane. Go ahead and do that. I don't care. That's fine. It's fine. Let's all be safe about it. So now this part of Indian Motorcycle Tucson's demo ride is the fact that we're going to kind of get up to speed and get the feel of the faster turns. Not turns, faster straightaways. Duh. So now we're going to go ahead and switch into different gears. We're in 4th gear. Now remember, there's... Okay, making sure, double checking, making sure. So now this is a 5th gear. This is 5th gear. And I want to see how it feels. I'm going to get low because the windshield is really buffering on top of my head. And I don't know if it's messing up the audio, but once we get... What are we doing? Let's figure out what we're doing first, and then I can talk about it. So I kind of want to see how this feels at interstate speeds. Oh yeah. It's got enough get up. It has got enough easy. So I think she says she wants us to back up, but this windshield makes it easy. So I'm going 65 easy on this bike. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is 70 miles an hour. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But 70 miles an hour is the typical highway interstate speeds, 75, maybe even 80. This is more comfortable than my Harley Sportster. I don't know if it's the mixture of forward controls, the seat's comfy, and the fact that it has that reduced reach on everything, and it fits me as a 5'6" rider really well. But getting up and going on a Scout 60, I never thought it would not, I thought it would be a big problem, to be honest, until I rode one. I thought that I would not have enough power. I thought I would not have enough power, but I have plenty of power. And it feels good. Now, I don't know what it's gonna feel like without the windshield, so that's what I'm gonna be trying out on the regular Scout. The regular Indian Scout, I will be trying that out because it doesn't have a windshield. Same thing with the bobber. The bobber's gonna be more of an aggressive look to it, aggressive feel to it. because it's gonna have those, it's not gonna have these bars. The bars are gonna be more in, kind of like my Sportster with the scrambler bars. But right now, this Scout 60, it's perfect on the in-town stuff. Now, obviously, I am feeling some wind buffering. There's not a lot of wind playing around here in Tucson today, but I do feel a little bit of wind on the windshield, and it kind of feels awkward. I'm not used to that, but I'm sure I could easily get used to that, because I feel it hitting like the top of my head, just like the very top of my head. I'm used to hitting it like my whole face and chest. So I don't know if I just need to be shorter or if these are adjustable. I believe these are adjustable. One sec, double checking, making sure we're staying safe. Let's see, quick release windshield. I don't know if these are adjustable, to be quite honest. You might be able to adjust it up or down, depending on your size, like the height. But right now, for a 5'6" rider, this is actually really good. All right, so turning, I've never really turned with forward controls in a long time, and that was easy. I think when I did this back in 2015, I was a little more nervous because I wasn't as experienced of a rider, but I feel like I'm pretty good now to where I can handle this. But I really want to test out all the Indian Scouts today because I do a lot of beginner stuff, and when it comes to the beginner tips, I want to talk about the beginner bikes, really. You could definitely start on this bike right here, over there. I forgot exactly what that is. I will annotate what that bike is. But we got a Roadmaster up ahead, and we got the Indian Dark Horse behind us. And you could definitely start on one of those bigger bikes, a little bit heavier, especially if you're a lot taller and stuff. This guy's way taller than me, and he looks like he's handling it. He just looks like he's having a lot of fun. For me personally, I love to have the small bikes. And the cool thing about the Indian Scouts, they do look really good with the brown luggage. You can get the brown luggage for the Indian Scouts. And we're gonna wave at this guy, nice. And we're getting closer towards the end of the demo ride itself, but I am not done. I will be doing the Indian Scout, the regular Indian Scout, which I believe is the green one up ahead that she's riding. And then I'm gonna be doing the Indian Scout Bobber. I really wanna do the Indian Scout Bobber because the Indian Scout Bobber is actually really cool. So we're gonna be trying those out. Oh, we're not turning right. For some reason I was thinking I was turning right. I guess we're not almost done. Is this a vlog or is this a... Oh, this is the Chief Vintage. I've tried the Chief Vintage. I actually did really well on that bike. I did pretty well on that bike. Now, I believe Vance & Hines does make grenade exhaust, kind of like the grenades on my bike. They're the high output grenades. I have the mini grenades, but they make the high output grenades for the Indian Scout. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do for the Indian Scout. I like how it shows everything right here. You got the gas tank, you got the reduced profile on all this stuff. Really good mirrors. The mirrors are doing pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of chrome, but that's just me. And that's what I like about the Bobber. So the Bobber doesn't have a ton of chrome. It's really blacked out. But you have your turn signals right here. The bike is smooth. On my bike, I could just feel it like rumbling and just like, it vibrates a lot. I mean, it's a Harley. And this bike, I don't feel that. I really don't feel that. I don't know if that's going to put off some people, but it really is awesome. This is a liquid-cooled engine, guys. This is a little bit different. It's not air-cooled. It's liquid-cooled. It's a 3.3-gallon tank. So this tank is actually kind of big. And my tank on the Harley Sportster is the 3.3. So there's definitely a difference when it comes to these tanks. So it's probably, more for stylish looks, and then the Harley Sportster has, the 3.3, and that's all it is. I mean, they put their own little cosmetics on it, but this is it's a little bit, it's kind of big for a 3.3, you know what I mean? But this has a 25.3-inch seat height. It's the lowest in its class. So, I mean, if you are short, this would be a really good bike to start on. And to be quite honest, guys, I really want my girlfriend to get the Rebel 500. But if she can handle this bike, she could easily go out of town with me. On this bike. This bike has 78 horsepower. My Harley Sportster with all the tuning, all like the exhaust, the air filter, and all that stuff is probably what this feels like. This right here, stock, feels like my Harley Sportster tuned up. You get the different look with the Harley Sportster. I mean, I got the scrambler stuff, but I mean, straight out the door, this bike runs better. This bike runs, just amazingly well for just stock. I mean, this does have the reduced, like the reduced stuff, but this doesn't have any performance mods to it. This is stock, other than, you know, the customization, like I said, for the reduced profile, smaller rider. So it's really amazing that you're able to get away with that and have that power, and it's cheaper than a Harley Sportster. I have nothing wrong with Harley. I love Harley. I love my bike. I love everything about Harley. But, you know, sometimes you gotta look outside and kind of do with this. You gotta look and do a demo ride to really find out what you like. So when it comes to, I'm gonna let this guy get ahead. We're supposed to be staggered. All right, cool. You really gotta test out bikes. So you go to the Harley, test ride some of their Sportsters or whatever bike you're looking for, and then test ride an Indian Scout. Because, man, this Indian Scout feels great. It really feels good. I'm in 4th gear going 48 miles an hour roughly, and it's smooth. I feel super smooth on it. The seat is comfortable, everything's comfortable. And I believe this says right here, US MSRP Thunder Black is $8,999. So $9,000 for this bike. I think I paid like $13 for my 1200 back in 2011, end of 2011. Polished bronze is $9,499. And then the Indian Motorcycle Red with ABS is $9,999, so $10,000. Thunder Black over Titanium Metallic is $10,400 or $10,500, so $10,500 for this one, because I believe this is the metallic. Yes, this is. So this right here is $10,500, and that's just because it has the color scheme and because it has ABS. I highly recommend getting ABS, because ABS, you know, why not? Unless you're gonna be taking this off road and you don't want ABS, so you can go down hills a little bit easier. You want ABS. It's definitely a technology that's going to be safer, and that's what's cool. Is that this bike has ABS for this. This is the expensive one, $10,499 with ABS, with this awesome color scheme, and then it has all right here. It's $1,050 worth of upgrades to make it adjustable to you with the windshield. If you don't want the windshield, that's cool too, but it's adjustable to a smaller rider. It's still cheaper than a Harley Sportster. It is still cheaper than a Harley Sportster, and you're gonna get a lot. I think the Indian Scout itself is more powerful than the Indian the Harley Sportster, and then this right here, I believe, is just as powerful as my bike, if not more powerful, which is crazy, which is really crazy, because I've spent a lot of time, a lot of effort to make that bike, you know, as not as powerful. I didn't go for performance, I went for functionality, and this bike right here has the performance, and for the functionality of just riding around town, I think this is more comfortable. I feel a little more comfortable on this bike, but I still just love my Harley Sportster, you know what I mean? I love my Harley Sportster. So yeah, 5-speed transmission, electronic fuel injection, 65 pounds of foot torque, and then, or foot-pounds torque, and 78 horsepower. It's a liquid-cooled 61 cubic inch V-twin engine. It's the Indian Scout 60. It's really cool. You fit. It's more like it's like a hot rod. You know, the Harley Sportster is more like a BMX bike. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But this is more like a hot rod. So you're getting that performance, and it sounds good. It feels good. And I don't think you would have a problem putting 2-up on this bike. You might have to get, I don't know if this comes with passenger pegs right off the bat, but I don't think you would have a problem with 2-up on this. Plus, if you start tuning this thing, if you start to, you know, get stuff for it, because the Vance & Hines does make the high output exhaust, this thing will rip. Another cool thing is that Roland Sands has some really cool stuff for the Indian Scout. A lot more aftermarket parts are coming for the Indian Scout. So, I mean, there's just like a ton of stuff that you can definitely get for this bike. And it sucks that I'm just not going to buy it. I'm just not going to. I don't have a room. I don't have a garage. So, if I had a garage, I would this is like a bike that, you know, I would want to get Nikki, or I want her to get, but then I would ride it. I'd ride it. I mean, I don't know. I just love my Scrambler so much, and it just feels good to me. But I highly recommend the Indian Scout 60 to a new rider. It does have that power that you would need and what you'd want to grow into. And I've always mentioned how, you know, you don't have to use the full potential of your bike as a beginner. You use a part of your potential. You don't have to get a small CC bike just because the potential of damage and the potential of wrecking is there. Just don't use the full potential of your bike. Now, that you can easily do this with this bike, where you just don't use the full potential of this bike and you just ride and you just have fun. And then when it comes to where you get better at this, you get better at riding, you get better at all that stuff, then you can go ahead and use more of the potential. Then you can go ahead and go a little bit faster, all that stuff. But yes, we are finishing up the demo for this bike. I can't wait to start and try the Indian Scout, which is up ahead here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. This bike was a lot of fun. I fully enjoyed it, and I can't wait to do it again. But let's go ahead and turn this off. Let's go ahead and boom, boom. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the passenger pegs, and I'm gonna let you look. I'm gonna let you look at the bike real quick. All right, so this is what I was riding. It's the Indian Scout 60. Awesome, awesome. I'm gonna be riding this a little bit later, and I'm gonna be riding that a little bit later. So make sure you guys subscribe, and make sure you guys let me know what you think.
You rode that, didn't you?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I love it.
Seat,
Yeah, yeah,
position and stuff, right?
yeah. I was looking at all this stuff, and it was perfect.
Just fits.
Yeah. Can you do that for all these bikes, or is it just the 60?
The Scout, what's on that can be done on this.
Okay.
So you can have the full size.